I think to some extent it's important in life to have a routine, Some things you have to do in a certain pattern and you have to keep it that way. Not only to, know in your mind that that's something you can fall back to, but just in general because it's healthy for you. For instance, your sleep pattern. When you go to sleep, whether that's every night at 11 p.m., 12 p.m., 10 p.m., 1 a.m., doesn't matter what. I think it's to some extent important and healthy that it's always around the same hour. But then, of course, like with all things in life, there is such a thing as too much of the good. Too much routine, and then that routine turns from routine and monotony. And I think monotony is something that is extremely annoying, and I think a lot of people deal with it. Especially, I think most people with a job that they don't like to do, like for instance, working in a call center or working in a warehouse, you know, like basic routine jobs or in a factory, in a factory, car factory, whatever. The basic routine jobs where every day you have to do maybe 200 times the same task for which you require no skill whatsoever, and the only reason why they need you to do it is because, well, anyone can do it, but you're available. And I think monotony is something, it's a serious thing because it can lead to depression in a certain extent. If you, for instance, if you have a mortgage and you got a wife and a kid, and you got to pay the bills, and you're stuck in a job that you really hate, but you realize that you need that job because it's not as easy to find another job. You can't just go out and get an education because the bills needs to get still paid and whatever. So I think it's a serious problem of today's age, and how you deal with monotony tells you a lot about yourself. That's something I want to say first. You can it all comes down to perspective and mindset. I once wrote a quote of I think it was Lincoln, but I'm not sure. You can look it up. And the quote said, or maybe no, I think it's Malcolm X that said it. That could be true too. And the quote said something along the lines, and I don't know it exactly out of my head, but it said something along the lines of, if you have to sweep the streets as a job, make sure you do it like an artist. Make sure you sweep those streets like they have never been swept before, like nobody else has done it before. And when people come around and they see that, they recognize what you did. And to an extent, it's I can agree with that. But on the other hand, it's like, Jesus, what are you serious? I mean, for me personally, I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. If I had to sweep the streets, I wouldn't be doing it as an artist. I would be doing it with that idea in my mind that I can do better than that in life. I'm worth more than sweeping the streets. But at the end of the day, you have to realize a lot of shit jobs out there. We will always need someone to do those. For instance, collecting garbage. Not a lot of people are willing to wake up in the morning at 6 a.m. to drive around in a stinking truck to go around town and collect other people's garbage. So you have to realize, in a way, those shitty jobs are also required. But yeah, monotony, it's a serious thing. But as I was going before, I was getting off my what I was originally saying. A lot of comes down to how you deal with monotony is your mindset. How you perceive things. And if you have a toxic mindset, for instance, I can agree that, people think I'm worth more or I should be doing something else. That's a good thought. But if you, while you're doing your job, you have a constant, non-stop, you know, sober and negative outlook on life, then, it it translates to a bad day in general, you know. If you have to sweep the street for an entire day, then that is what it is, you know. Make the best of it. That's what I'm saying. What I'm